What's up, everybody? Is it time for PE? Don't think so. We got a basketball game going on? Well, kind of. I got my ball, throwing my headband because we got ourselves a game for you today. What kind of game are we playing? It's another classroom review game, basketball theme. Used to play this game all the time with my buddies out on the court, but now we got ourselves the classroom version of this game called Knockout. What we're calling here, my version of the classroom game called Buzzer Beater. For three. Hey everybody, it's Ryan, the game show guy. Yeah, we're back. We're back for another game tutorial, folks. And a lot of folks have been mentioning, like, hey Ryan, you're wearing a hat all the time. You're like, what does it look like underneath the hat? Well, I decided I'll take it off and let the locks flow a little bit. So anyway, this game, folks, we got is a basketball themed game. And it is based off of a game called Knockout, basically about if I could be able to make a shot and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to get into it in a second, but sort of like all my games, this is a review game. The idea that you're going to be able to answer some questions as a team, and if I get my questions correctly, here's the difference: is instead of me doing well, the number of questions that I get correctly are going to equate to how many times I can take away from the other opponents. Ultimately, we want to knock out all the other opponents. Hopefully, people don't knock us out a whole bunch, so that ultimately it's sort of a last man standing kind of a game. So I call the game Buzzer Beater. Relatively simple to follow and kind of be able to put together. But let's check it out. And like all my games, I got sounds, I got sound effects. Let's check it out. Game's called Buzzer Beater. Actually added some squeaky sound effects in for the floor. All right, and like all the games too, you got Classroom Edition on there. You put on the bottom, hey, we're doing, 7th grade language arts final review, something like that, or geology unit or whatever you're ultimately doing. So this isn't PowerPoint. I do want to be able to talk about, take a moment here to be able to show you. I do have, like a lot of my games, they're primarily, I designed my games first in PowerPoint because of the amount of stuff that you can do within PowerPoint. Sometimes I can, and sometimes I can't do a Google Slides version. This is one that I kind of can. So yeah, you do have one. It's not the exact same experience. In essence, it's the same game. The exciting part about this game is the physical component. We're actually going to shoot some baskets. So that you don't really need the screen and all that sort of stuff. So basically, the screen's just going to be for questions. And in PowerPoint, you have the version to keep track better. If you don't have PowerPoint, you're just going to do this in Google Slides. You're going to be using a whiteboard up on the screen to keep track of that. I'll explain it in a little bit, but you can see sort of the differences here. Here's what it looks like in PowerPoint. Here's what it looks like in Google Slides. The rough same theme or whatever, but basically you're going to be able to see, let me go over here into PowerPoint. PowerPoint, you're going to have a question where you put your question right there. There's question number 1. And after question number 1, then you go to the answer, and that's it. So if I look over here in my Google Slides, same sort of a thing. I got my question and I got my answer. So basically answering questions and moving on. So I'll show the primary difference about how the two are different. All right, so let's jump into the game here and show you kind of what it looks like. This game you can actually I'm going to put 4 teams. You could change this. I would think you would probably want somewhere between 3 to 5. The first time you play one, you stick with 4. 4 is what I've done, and so try it out that way. Classes into 4 teams. That gives you, 8 to 10 or however many kids in your group. Depends on how big your class is, and so then you're going to be able to set them aside, kind of a thing. And then here are the rules. There's 2 parts to the game. I played this game twice. Once I just did part 1, and it was fine. The other time I tried to be able to do a finale. For some of the games, I have finales. Sometimes I'll have finales and I don't do them. Like one of my favorite is a Family Feud. In Family Feud, I often don't do the fast money at the end. I just play the game. Jeopardy, oftentimes I won't get to the final Jeopardy question. Price is Right. We don't do the Showcase Showdown. So is there a final thing? And in this one, I created one. Basically, we're going to play. These 4 teams are going to be against each other. If you play it with just the team competition, one team will win. Congratulations, you guys all get candy, extra credit, whatever kind of a thing, whatever the prizes are, that they all are going to get it. If you wanted to, you could be able to now take those winners and see if you can have one winner from the winning team to be the overall class winner. I'll get to that in a second. But here is the scoreboard where the game takes place. And there's two components to this thing. You have on the bottom 40, numbers 1 through 40. These are the actual questions, the hyperlink to the questions that you're going to ask the students. This does have choice, the ability that if you wanted to go to question number 13, it's hyperlinked. If I click on question 13, it's going to jump all the way to question 13. There's nothing there because it's blank, and you'll fill out in the text box about what ultimately you want to put there. You can't click forward. It's been disabled. And you click on answer, and then the answer, everything's grayed out, but then you would type in the answer right there. You can't click anywhere else, so you click on the home. It takes it back, and you can see 13 is the colors changed, so you know that we don't necessarily have to be able to do that one. Your choice if you wanted to give them, hey, you can have one team pick, or if you wanted to be able to say, no, forget that, we're all just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we'll just do them in order. Kind of a thing. How many questions do you need? I feel like I talk about this in all of the videos that we make here. This is one of these variable questions. This depends on the game itself. So you could have more, you could have less. And let me explain that now, and then you'll ultimately be able to see. So the game mechanics work like this. Class is going to be divided up into 4 teams. Okay, you are each going to start with 9, I'm going to call them balls on the scoreboard. That's what you can see right here, these 9 balls, or basically 9 lives. Oh, that's a good way, 9 lives. We should have called it that instead of basketball. No, we're sticking with it. You got 9 lives, okay? The last team with lives is the one that's ultimately going to win here. And so the way in which that works, you can see here, is that if you answer a question correctly, then I'm simply going to go, yes, team 1 answers a question correctly. Team 1, what do you want to be able to do? Team 1 got it right. And you're like, you know what? I don't like team number 2. I think they're one of our strongest competitors. Get rid of one of their lives or one of their balls. So then if I click on these are all linked to disappear or to cross them out. So now team 1 got it correctly. They get to eliminate a ball. Team 2, your team also guessed correctly. Who do you want to eliminate? We want to get rid of team 3, one of theirs. So then one of the balls is going to go away over there. Team 3 did not get a question correctly. Sorry, you don't get to knock one out. And team 4, you got one correct. You can answer the question correctly. Who do you want to knock out? And they're like, we also want to knock out team number 2. And so now you can see the scores here. At the end of the first round, team 1 and team 4 have all their lives left. Team 3 is only has 1 down, and team 2 has lost 2 lives, and that only gives them 7 left. As soon as you're done being knocked out, you're eliminated from the game until there's just 1 team remaining, kind of a thing. So questions will go with that. Now, the way that I set up the game is now let's add a physical component to that. If you answer a question, you can knock it out. You don't have to, but if you would like to be able to make a bit of a physical challenge, you could say that everybody gets 1 shot of a physical challenge to be able to earn another knockout. So that's the way I did this. That everybody is going to get 1 shot to be able to make it. If you make a basket, you can knock one of the balls out. If you don't, if you miss it, you don't. And so ultimately in the rules here, you can see that if you make a basket, physically make the shot, and I answer the question correctly, I get to be able to have 2 knockouts. I can do 2 from the same team, or I can split it up, kind of a thing. That makes a fun way in which to be able to have this, not necessarily just a question and answer thing, the physical component to the piece of it. And this continues until there's one team left. So now when we go back to when they say, well, like, how many questions are there, Ryan? You're like, you don't know how long it's going to get. You don't know how hard your questions are. You don't know how the knockouts are ultimately going to work and things like that. So I just have to have a fair amount on there. I got a link to extra questions if you want to be able to, if you run out. So always have a couple extra on hand in case you want to be able to do a review game and there's not stuff. So I have some fun pop culture ones in there too if you need to be able to water down the sauce, if you know what I mean, kind of a thing. So what am I missing here? Okay, so but what about the shooting baskets? This is the creative and the fun part of the game. Is kids love getting up and being interactive, kind of a piece. So you need to come up with a way. You don't need to. You could just play the game digitally. You could do that 100%. But if you are going to be able to do the basketball component of it, you need some way to be able to shoot some baskets. Okay, and if you go to the very end, the last slides towards the end here, you can see I got a link to try to be able to find some to these kind of baskets or whatever. There's tons that are out there. My biggest recommendation in a traditional classroom is that mini hoop that you would attach to that you attach to like a door or something along those lines, kind of a thing. And usually those comes with a set of balls, kind of a thing. But your classroom may not necessarily lend itself because your door's in kind of in a weird way. You can see here's kind of what they retail for. Here's one on Amazon for like $24. This is kind of a nice one. You got 4 little balls with there. Check out. I think I've mentioned in previous videos. I love going to Goodwill. You'll find lots of stuff there. You may strike it rich and find one of these for relatively cheap or that kind of stuff. Lots of these Nerf ones that you can find and all that kind of stuff out there. So you're going to need one way to be able to shoot that. The one that I have found tremendously a lot of fun is simply just this guy. It's a trash can. So it's just a little trash can that's in the shape of a basket. And then I did a side purchase of these little mini basketball stress balls. And I got like a package of like 20 or 30 of them. Kind of neat. So this is nice and super portable. I can put it anywhere. The problem, though, is if I put it on a table, it could get knocked over. So I would like to be able to tape it down, kind of a thing. So since it is a physical game, if you want to be able to make shots, it depends on, how successful do you want them to be? Like, hey, if I put you right here and make a shot, that's going to be kind of easy. You could set them up across the room and make it more challenging if you want, all based on your skill, the skill level, the age of your kids, and kind of have fun with it. You don't want to have nobody score, but you also don't want to make it super easy. So test it out. And you want to spend 0, then you get your garbage can and you get some recycled paper and you make up some paper wads, and have something similar in my Minute to Win It game. If you've seen that one, about just make paper wad basketball and you play those. Cost you nothing. So don't feel like you need to spend any money on that sort of a thing. So, yeah. And so now if I walk you through the game, do I need to walk you through the game? I did. That's how it works, right? You answer a question, you get an extra a knockout. Kind of a thing. Now, the game may go quick if they're close and the questions are relatively easy. Don't feel like you're limited to just 9. You could do more if you don't want to necessarily just do the 9. I've only put 9 balls up there if you want to be able to do that knockout game. But let me go back and tell you a little bit about not the PowerPoint version, but the Google Slide version. The Google Slide version, love Google Slides, and it's super easy and simple to use. The idea of clicking on a basketball and making it disappear, not going to happen. Okay, those triggers are not remotely anything part of what Google Slides has the ability to do there. The questions on the bottom are linked. Let me show you how this works here in Google Slides. If I click on question number 9, it's going to jump me, I can see in the upper right-hand corner, to question number 9. I click on the answer, it takes me to answer question number 9. I click on home and it takes me back, and there you go. Bit of a problem with Google Slides. I cannot change the color of what's a link and a link that I've already been to before, a visited link. So now if I take a look at question number 9, it's still a black link, which creates a bit of a problem. One of the biggest reasons, if anybody in Google Slides is listening, is that'd be my biggest recommendation for me making games is let me change the color. I can change the default color of links, but I need to change the default color of a regular link and a visited link so that I could differentiate if I've been somewhere before. This way, in Google Slides, I can't tell if I've been anywhere before or not. And if there's a workaround that somebody knows how to be able to do this that I have not encountered, please let me know, because I'm dying to know. That's my number one request, is change visited link colors. So this is a bit of a problem. So here, if I'm doing this in Google Slides, I'd probably do them in order. Tell the kids we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we just do them in order, and you just keep track of which questions you've done, because they don't go away. There's not that disappear piece. And then also on the knockout up here, there's no way to be able to keep track on the Google Slides about how to be able, which teams have been lost one of their lives. So if you are going to do in Google Slides, the fun part of the game is the questions and the baskets. This isn't the amazing part of the game. So you could do this in Google Slides. You just use the whiteboard, and you use the whiteboard to create, ready? Dun, dun, dun. Don't do this on a mini board. I just got the mini board here to show you what it looks like. You basically create this here up on the board, and you can put the numbers up here. So then the same scenario, let's say team 1 got their basket correct, and they go, hey, we want to knock out one of team 2's. You just do this. It erases. It's the magic of whiteboards and pens. Team 2, who do you want to take out? We want to get rid of team 3's, one of theirs. Team 3 got it correct. And team 4, what do you want? We want to get rid of one of team 2's. And there you go. That's the exact same score, just done on the big board as opposed to done in the PowerPoint kind of a thing. The nice part here, folks, is, where'd my pen go? Unlike mine, I can do this 10, 11, 12. There's no limit on how many knockouts you can do. You could play this game longer and do that. So same thing is that if you want to do it in PowerPoint and you don't like that, you could just put this up on the board. So this gives way more flexibility in terms of the number of questions, how long of a game that you ultimately want. Okay, so don't feel limited that you need to do that. Does that mean if I'm using PowerPoint, do I have to switch to Google Slides? No, you can do it in PowerPoint. Just don't click on the balls and make them disappear on the thing. All right, folks. So that's it of the team game. Woohoo! Team number 2. They got killed. Team number 1, you guys are the winner. Go get them all candy. But wait, do you want to do a finale? Oh, that's right. What about that individual game? Well, in the individual game, it looks like this. I'm now going to take the winning team and have them turn against each other. Now it's time to see who's the best player of them all. And so I'm going to say, pretend I got in this team, there's 7 people on the team for team number 1. They're the winners. They all got candy. I still like to do that, reward them. Then who's the best of the best? Now I got a giant candy bar or something, a little bit more of an incentive. Here's the thing. You're all going to get a piece of paper or a whiteboard, and I'm going to give you 3 questions. Those 3 questions basically are going to put how close you are in this individual competition to shoot baskets. Because this is going to be a physical challenge. Whoever can do the best in the basketball game is going to be the winner. So basically, this is what the 3 questions give me. They get me closer. If I am given the 3 questions and I answer them, 1, 2, 3, and I answer them all correctly, are they correct? Like, yep, that puts me to the closest spot between me and the basket, between the ball and the basket. Okay. If I answer 2 questions correctly, I'm going to go slightly back farther. I answer 1 question correctly, back farther. I got them all wrong. I'm here. Everybody's going to play and try to compete and make their baskets. Just depends on how many, like in golf, what's your handicap? How much are we going to be able to ultimately help you with that? So let's jump forward if you want to be able to do that. I have it here on the board. There's a link to the lightning round. So once you're done with it all, in the bottom right corner, you click on that and jumps you all the way to the lightning round. And let's take a peeky at what the lightning round looks like. There we go. Here's the lightning round. And basically, you're going to have your questions on here. Oh, I'm in the wrong one here. Give me a second. And here's our lightning round. Once you come to the lightning round slide, you're like, okay, all right, students. So you guys have all won. Congratulations, you got candy. But now it's time to let's see how well you can do against each other. And this is the slide where you need to write all your questions. I'm going to put them all onto one slide so some kids can move faster than others. They're not waiting for it, so they're just all there. Feel free if you need more space, you can get rid of the word lightning around the basketball hoop and then just make it all fit if it's too small for you. All right, so then you have them they all show their boards. You go over all the answers. You talk about the answers and have that discussion with them. And then they would all take their corresponding spots. Well, what do you mean their spots? Well, here's this little digital classroom that I created. Where is your basketball hoop going to get set up? So let's say I'm going to put mine here over the classroom door. I have a traditional kind of classroom that would lend itself for that. So I got a spot there, but you also need to be able to think is that the students are going to have to shoot, but also there's going to be some rebounding, which means they're going to have to go from where they shoot and up to get their missed shot. So there needs to be some open space in this. So again, for me here, what I can do with this is I could just take a ladder that I have and on top of the ladder, I can put this basketball and then be able to shoot and try to be able to get it up into there. Okay. Then here are my lines. I'm just going to take some painter's tape, and then the painter's tape, I'm going to put close, medium, far, and then actually I probably need 4 on here because if you got 0, I need about ultimately where that's going to go. So the tape is going to mark the distances to the hoop. Then everybody is then going to get their balls and start this contest about who can shoot them. How do you do this then? Well, I've tried 2 different ways. Like I said, I played the game twice, and I've tried 2 different ways. And where did I put oh, it's down here at the end. Here's my different ways in which that I can envision this thing. Okay, I've tried them both ways, and they both worked okay for me. So I'm not necessarily sure if I would do it again. What would the other one be? So one is a time shoot. This is fast. So each student is going to be able to, I'm going to time them. So the student's going to stand at the line by themselves. Okay, and they got to get 3 balls in. So I don't know how many you give them. You can give them a lot of them, you can give them a few, or you can even give them just one. So basically, I'm going to be able to have a stopwatch timer on my cell phone. I'm going to say, hey, whoever can get 3 in the fastest time wins. Ready? And I just have them go one at a time. So let's going to have Bobby's going to stand up there. Ready, set, go. Bobby's going to shoot one. If he misses, he's got to run up to the front of the board and get it, and then go back and shoot another one. Now, are you only going to have them shoot one? You could give them 3. So that's what I did. Each kid got 3 balls. 1, 2, 3. They go get their rebounds. 1, 2, 3. As soon as they can get 3 total in, then we stop the time. Nice job. You did yours in 1 minute and 12 seconds. All right, Stephanie, your term's up. Stephanie goes up, and then she's got her time to be able to do that. Okay, this is kind of frantic. Kids are going to be running around. Their balls bouncing all over the place. It's going to run underneath the desk or whatever. That's why I don't do necessarily one. If one just got weird and went someplace, I don't want to be totally like, where is the thing? I don't know, kind of a thing. So that's why I do multiple on that one. Okay, that's the time shooting. The second one's called relay shooting, and this one is that they are going to stand behind their line, and everybody's just going to be doing it. This one's sort of, I won't say at the same time, but we're going to be doing this one together. Okay, when you say go, first person's going to go up, and they're going to take 1 shot, missed. Now the next person, you're going to shot from your line, next, and so it's just going to go player 1, player 2, player 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to player 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they all just have one slow. Think about it. Oh, made it. All right. So for the first person to get those 3, okay, in a slow, one at a time kind of a thing. It's not as hectic. The only problem on this one is who gets to go first. If I got 7 of them, I don't randomly pick. It makes, it's going to be a battle to be able to be the first spot is the best spot. I do the playing. I'll do playing cards for this one. I get out a bunch of playing cards. Ace 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Depends on how many you get. I would do just those cards, however many that you have. If you got 8, do ace through 8 kind of a thing. Have them all pick, and then that's their order kind of a thing. Got it? So that one's kind of neat. It's not a speed race. It's much more tense and kind of a thing. The other ones, they're both fun. I enjoyed both the scenarios. You are going to need to have someone to do a tally up on the board. They're either putting the kid's name and their time up there, or they're just going to be doing the however many that they got. So Scott got 1, Scott got 2, Stephanie's still at 0, kind of a thing. All right, and folks, that's the game. Like I said, both of these you could do in Google Slides and in PowerPoint. The magic in this one is here. It's the questions and the balls, and have fun with the physicality and the challenges of shooting and playing in the thing. So hope you like it. As usual, love to be able to see some feedback. The game is called Buzzer Beater, and everybody, this is Ryan O'Donnell, and I am the Game Show Guy.